Hi yogis! For today's class, we're going to be doing another CardiYoga. So we're going to be moving quickly and trying to get our heart rates up and get a good workout. And today I'm actually going to be using weights as part of the class. So if you have weights at home, you can grab those. If not, all of the movements that we do can be done without weights, or you can just grab something heavy. So if you have water bottles or something like that, that would work perfectly too. These are 12 pounds. They're probably going to be a little too heavy for me. I would have preferred maybe 8 to 10, but I don't have that. So we're going to do the best we can. But that's probably what I would recommend if you have that at home. And with that being said, we'll get started here. I think I'm going to aim to make this video about 20 minutes, but we'll see how it goes, and I will put in the description how long it ends up being. So with that being said, let's get started.
Starting in a neutral standing position, on your inhale, reach your arms up, and exhaling, fold forward. Inhaling, rise up, extending tall, and exhaling, fold. Make sure to keep a deep bend in your knees as you fold and rise. So we're not too worried here about getting a deep stretch, but rather just trying to warm up the body. Inhaling, finding length, and exhaling, folding down. One more time, rising up. And then from here, we're going to take hold of the weights, and on your inhale, lift and then press overhead. And exhale, bending the knees, folding down. And then starting to find a rhythm with your breath. Now with yoga, we usually inhale as we extend up and exhale as we fold. But if you prefer, you can also switch so that you're exhaling on effort as you press up and inhaling as you relax down. So whatever rhythm you choose that feels comfortable, just finding steadiness, moving with your breath, finding a rhythm, and focusing on staying strong and keeping your good form. So your back is flat, you're never hunching over. Always bending your knees as you need to. Pulling the weights in and then pressing them up overhead. Just a few more times, staying strong. Trying to relax the muscles in the face if you're feeling any tension. And if it's getting at all difficult, just remember to keep breathing, finding strength with each deep breath in. From here, we'll release the weights down, coming back to stand and taking a moment to reset. And then we're going to sit back in chair pose, sinking the hips low, making sure that you can see all 10 toes. And then on your exhale, sweeping the arms back, hovering the chest over your thighs. Inhaling to rise up, exhaling to hover, sweeping arms back. And make sure that you keep sitting low as you move between these two poses. So the only thing changing is the position of the chest. Engaging your core, keeping those knees back, keep sitting low. And then from here, we're going to take the weights, staying in a chair pose, trying to lift your chest while still sitting back. And then on exhale, standing up. Inhaling back to chair, exhaling to stand. And make sure you're still keeping those knees back, so they might start to try to creep forward over the toes, but really focusing on sitting back like you're sitting down in a chair. Keep breathing. Inhaling to sit back, exhaling to rise. Keeping your shoulders back, chest lifted. Making sure that your back is flat. So no arch in the back, but also not hunching over. A few more times. Try not to let those knees creep forward. And then we're going to set the weights down and rise up to stand. From here, on your inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. And then exhaling, fold down. We're going to take the weights if you have them, otherwise planting hands on the floor and jumping back to plank. We'll lower through one chaturanga push-up and then hips lift up and back for downward dog. Looking forward, rising to toes and feet to hands. And then this time taking the weights, we'll rise up and press the weights overhead. Planting the weights down, jumping back to plank, chaturanga push-up, and then back, downward dog. Adding some speed here, jumping forward, lift and press up, and back down. Jumping to plank, taking a push-up, and downward facing dog. Finding a rhythm, jumping forward, weights lift, and fold. Jump to plank, staying strong through your push-up, and downward facing dog. And keep moving through this sequence, finding a rhythm with your breath, and making any adjustments that you need. So you can always come down to your knees for the chaturanga push-ups, or take a longer break in downward facing dog. But just focusing on warming up the body, finding strength in your movement, and maintaining your form as you increase your effort. With your chaturanga push-ups, make sure that your elbows are hugging in. And try to focus on keeping your core engaged at all times. Keeping your back flat, spine long. And we'll do about 5 or 6 more. So again, taking breaks if you need to, making adjustments. Just finding that steady flow of movement. So using your deep breathing to power you through this flow. Never shortening the breath. Slowing down if you need to, changing the speed. And then almost done. And we're going to meet back in a downward facing dog. So pressing into your hands or the weights, really extending through the back, maybe walking the feet out, so bending into one knee and then the other. And then we're going to ripple forward to a plank, lowering to chaturanga, and this time making our way to upward facing dog, and then pressing back to downward facing dog. Rising to toes, rippling the spine to plank, elbows hugging in for chaturanga, heart lifts, and then downward facing dog. So just warming up the spine here, we'll continue through these movements, linking up each movement with breath, and really focusing on slowing down the space between each movement, particularly the movement of the spine. So one vertebrae at a time, we come forward, slowly lifting the heart, and then hips back, allowing the spine to lengthen. And now moving into our next sequence. On your inhale, reach the right leg back And exhale, shifting weight forward, knee to nose. Inhaling, three-legged dog. Exhaling, bringing the knee forward. Inhaling back. Exhaling forward, engaging the core. Inhaling to extend. Exhaling, crunching that knee towards your nose. One more time. And then stepping the right foot between the hands, coming to a lunge. Shifting the weight into the hands, we'll jump to lunge on the other side, left foot forward. And then we'll continue with these mountain climbers, jumping from a lunge on one side to the other. Weight in the hands, jumping on your exhale. Trying to find lift. So your hips are lifting up. And then next time the right foot is forward, we'll rise to a lunge with the weights, press them up to the sky once. And then lowering the weights, the hands come down. Back to three-legged dog. And then dropping the right foot, coming to downward facing dog. And from here, we'll take the same thing on the other side. So inhaling, left leg rises, three-legged dog. Exhaling, knee to nose. Inhaling back. Exhaling forward. Extending on your inhale, crunching forward as you exhale. A few more times, warming up those core muscles. And then the next time that your left knee is forward, we'll step it between the hands for a low lunge. And weight in the hands. On your exhale, jump to switch sides, right leg forward. And keep going. Finding lightness with each jump. Try not to sink down too much as you land. And then the next time that the left foot is forward, we'll rise up to a high lunge, bringing the weights. And one time, pressing the weights overhead. And then releasing the weights down. Left foot lifts and extends back, downward facing dog. And now moving into our next sequence. On the inhale, the right leg extends back. And exhaling forward to plank, right knee towards right elbow. Inhaling, extending back. Exhaling, this time right knee towards left elbow. Inhaling, three-legged dog. Exhaling, right knee, right elbow. Inhaling back. Exhaling across towards left elbow. One more time, extending back. Right knee to right elbow, and then planting the right foot between the hands. Back foot pivots to 90 degrees. And then rising up, warrior two. And then on the inhale, we're going to straighten the front leg and sweep the arms up for extended triangle. And then exhaling, bending the back knee, come to Skandasana. Inhaling up, and then exhaling, warrior two. Inhaling, extended triangle. Exhaling, Skandasana. Inhaling, lengthening up, and exhaling, warrior two. And just continuing to flow here between these poses. Moving with breath. Opening the hips. Finding that steady rhythm and only sinking back into your Skandasana as much as feels comfortable right now. And from here, we're going to place one of the weights between the feet to have it ready, straightening the front leg and then inching the feet a bit closer together, and then toes facing out, bending into the knees, sinking the hips down and taking hold of that weight. And then pressing up, extending the weight overhead and extending the legs, and then sinking back down. So we'll move through these poses, linking up with the breath, so you can either inhale as you extend up or exhale, whatever's more comfortable for you. But just finding that rhythm, finding strength in the legs, keeping the chest lifted, and then releasing the weight down. We'll take both weights on the outside of the left foot. So we're going to just be switching over to our other side. So finding a warrior two with the left foot forward, and then cartwheeling the hands down to frame the foot, stepping back to downward facing dog. So now we're repeating the sequence that we did before on the left side. So left leg extends, and exhaling to plank, left knee towards left elbow. Inhaling, extend back. Exhaling, left knee to right elbow, crossing the body. Inhaling back. Exhaling, left knee, left elbow. Extending back. Crossing towards your right elbow. Last time, lengthening back. Left knee to left elbow, and then stepping the left foot between the hands. And back foot pivots. Rising up to warrior two. And then on your next inhale, extending the left leg, sweeping the arms up. Exhaling, bending the right knee to Skandasana. Inhaling up and exhaling warrior two. Inhaling up, exhaling Skandasana. And keep going with these movements, opening the hips, finding your rhythm. You can slightly pivot the back foot if you like to as you lower into Skandasana each time. And don't worry about sinking too far into the stretch. Just focused on strengthening the hips. And then from here, straightening the front leg, inching the feet together. And this time bringing both weights between the feet. And then turning the toes out, sinking the hips into goddess, and this time taking both weights with us. And bringing the weights to shoulder height. And then we'll extend the legs, press the weights up, and bring them back to shoulders, sinking the hips down. So again, linking up movement with breath, you can either extend the weights up on your inhale or your exhale, whichever is more comfortable. And just a few more times, staying strong, keeping core engaged, never locking out the knees. And then we'll release the weights down. Rising up, just taking it to warrior two one last time. Right foot forward, left leg back. And then cartwheeling the hands down. And then stepping back to plank. Lower through chaturanga. Find upward facing dog. And then hips back, downward facing dog. And then rising to the toes, we'll ripple forward again to plank. And then separate the feet about hips width distance, so we're having a bit more stability here. And then shifting the weight slightly into the right hand, we're going to lift the left weight off of the ground towards the left shoulder, elbow pointing back. And then take it to the other side, right weight lifts towards right shoulder and lowers down. Continuing to alternate between these rows on each side. And try to stay strong and stable in your plank. So moving your hips as little as possible, keeping your core engaged. Trying to keep the movement only to those rows with the weights. A few more times, strong and steady, keeping the spine long. And then from here, lowering through chaturanga to upward facing dog and back downward facing dog. Looking forward, rising to the toes, bending the knees, and then we'll hop the feet forward and lower down to seated. And from here, we're going to set up for boat pose, so bringing the weights to either side of you. Lifting the feet off of the ground, finding your balance, and then extending the legs out, engaging the core, keeping your chest lifted, and then we'll take hold of one of the weights, and then twist to the left, and then the right. So keeping the feet pointing forward, twisting from the core, deep breathing. Try to keep your shoulders back, so not hunching forward too much. We're just finding a rhythm. You can always bring your feet down to the ground if you need to for a few breaths. As long as you are leaning back and engaging the core, you're still going to get some really good conditioning here. Try to relax the face, and then we will release, hugging the knees in. And then we're going to slow down here. We're going to move into some stretching. So crossing the legs, coming to a comfortable seated position, making any adjustments that you need and taking a moment to catch your breath. And then on the next inhale, sweeping your arms up over your head. And exhaling, hinging forward from the hips, extending the arms out and finding a forward fold. Releasing any tension in the head and the neck. Allowing yourself to sink forward. Relaxing the chest. And then slowly rising back up. Changing the crossing of the legs so the opposite leg is in front. And taking a few shoulder rolls here. So lifting the shoulders up and then lowering them back down. And then maybe taking right ear towards right shoulder, stretching out the neck. And rising up. Left ear towards left shoulder, relaxing the face. And back through center. And then chin to chest, stretching the back of the neck. And back through center. And now taking the left arm up and over, left hand to right shoulder, and the right hand comes back and reaches towards that left hand, maybe grasping the hands behind you. Taking a few breaths, maybe pulling on the hands so you can get a deeper stretch. And then releasing down. Taking it to the other side, right hand towards left shoulder, left hand reaches back. Maybe reaching the hands towards each other or clasping the fingers. And deep breathing, letting the head relax forward. And then slowly release. Next, extending the right arm towards the left, maybe hooking the left arm around and gazing right, stretching through that right shoulder. And then release, taking it to the other side. Left arm extends right. Right arm can hook around and gazing to the left. And then letting it go. And from here, just making our way into our final seated pose. And this will be our final pose today, so taking some time to settle in. Relaxing the shoulders. Relaxing the face. Allowing the breath to return to its natural rhythm, and just enjoying a moment of stillness, letting the benefits of this challenging practice sink in. Take a few deep, full breaths in and out through the nose, releasing tension with each exhale, and bringing in new bright energy with each breath in. You can stay here for as long as you like. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes, hopefully feeling refreshed for the rest of your day. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and I hope that you enjoyed today's class. Namaste.